I kind of think that I'm kind of part American aside that, because the Americans love their burgers, don't they?
Yeah, but surprisingly, you're really skinny. Interestingly enough.
Yes, I know.
How does that work? You eat burgers all the time and you're really skinny.
Yeah, I know. It's like I'm for some reason with me.
You're like Shaggy.
I don't gain any weight. I
Like
don't know
Shaggy and
why.
Scooby.
I'm guessing isn't it?
Ruh-roh.
I, I know some people have genes in them that stop it. I suppose.
Genes. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it is called genes, don't worry.
Some people. Yes, some people can get fat when they eat too much food, but some people can eat as much as they want but never get fat. I guess I'm one of those people.
I see what you mean.
I'm tempted to challenge that fact by eating a lot of food until I get bigger, but I don't want to be fat, so I don't want to risk that.
Nobody wants to be fat. It's like...
You never know, some people might.
I don't think so. Because what's the joy in being fat?
Kid out there who goes, I wish I was bigger.
Well, everyone... So the thing is, it all comes down to it, like, would you want to be fat or would you want to be skinny? Being fat is not a good thing, technically. Because you can't fit through doors.
It's not. Actually, it is when it comes to sumo wrestling.
Yeah, but that's a sport. And they get I don't know. What actually happens to them? Do they just get fed a lot and that's how they become one?
I am not sure.
I wonder if that's what they do to all fat... I wonder if that's what they do to all fat people that eventually turn them into a sumo wrestler.
Okay, adding that to personal people, myself, I will try to look that up online and I'll see what I could find out. If I can find out a good story about that, about the sumo wrestlers, I'll bring that into this podcast.
Okay, while we wait for John, I'll do some elevator music. Okay, ready everybody? 3, 2, 1. Do 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 ba-doo do 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 ba-doo do do do. You found it yet? I'm getting kind of bored.
I'm not looking for it right now, boy. I meant another time.
Okay,
Ouch.
That was fun. Alright, John made me do a weird song while waiting for you guys. While waiting. Okay, no. Right then.
You didn't listen. I said I'll bring it in sometime.
You'll bring it in? You're gonna bring in a sumo wrestler?
I'll look at the subject in my spare time.
Okay. Well then, I think it's time for me to ask you a different question. And how the hell do we get on sumo wrestlers? We started out, how do we go from Halo to sumo wrestlers?
Well, actually, no. First we started off with dating things.
How do we end up with dating? How that? Okay, that's even more weird. Okay, let's change it a little bit, and hopefully we'll stay on subject. Oh, you don't think that'll happen?
How long are we doing these podcasts for, by the way?
Well, I suppose we should do that, and try to do an hour each time.
Oh, okay, an hour. Alright, we got plenty of time then.
How long we actually got left? I didn't really count.
Actually. How long do we have left?
Oh shit.
Okay, so one sec. Hey, how much time we got left? Somebody. Where's the staff member?
Staff.
We need a staff member.
Staff. Where's the producer? Producer. Where are you? I'm going crazy. What are we doing anymore?
Are we just abandoned up here?
Probably. I don't like it.
I mean, look at the. I mean, it's a nice view and all, but who's gonna? Wait a minute, Alex. Did you remember to order our food?
Did they go for dinner without us? I take that as a yes. Well. Oh, John, we're still on air. We're still on the air.
Oh, we are. Wait. Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Where's the camera guy?
It's invisible. Teehee.
What's his name?
It's Teehee.
Teehee.
Yes. The camera guy is called Teehee.
Okay.
I don't know why he's called that. It's just like he didn't really want it. It's like his mum forced it in onto him. Honestly, think about it. Many names that are given to you by birth you don't really want. Like really, who wants to be called John? It's like a horrible name. Ugh.
Oh, what about Alex?
Yes. That sounds really weird.
Well, isn't Teehee kind of sound like a Japanese name in a way? Cause
Does that mean he's Japanese?
Yes.
He keeps saying it like, or is it she? Hang on, that's kind of creepy. Oh my god! It has begun.
Question, because he's invisible.
Yes.
How do we know when we're finished on air he doesn't follow us home?
I know. I don't really want to go to the toilet and him start filming, or she. I don't even know if it's a he or a she anymore. We actually haven't. All we've been hearing is the tee-hee.
We never know. It could be a creeper.
A creeper. That's what's actually recording. It's actually a creeper. It's gonna blow up. Ah!
Yeah, it blows up as the ratings go down.
Oh god, we blew up.
Please, guys, keep watching our videos. Make them go up. Don't make them go down.
That'll be very weird. Yes, if the views go down, we'll blow up. Yes.
The problem is, I don't have a timer. How do I know how long we've been doing this for?
What time do we even start building? I mean, what time did we even start recording?
I thought you was gonna remember that part.
Right, we organised to start this at 7. It took us something like an hour or something to... Right, let's do it for another 30 minutes then. From now.
Okay.
That sounds like a good idea. So we need to wait until 7 past.
Alrighty then. Any other subjects on mind?
Right, here's a new subject. Right, have you heard about all the... about those false widow spiders?
Oh yes, I've heard about those, yeah.
What's your opinion on it? Do you think it's a true story, or do you think it's fake?
Wait, when you say full dose, do you mean poisonous, or do you mean as in giant big ones or something?
No, just the normal type.
I've heard of the one about the guy who burned his house down because of a spider.
I know. But then, honestly, I'm thinking that's more of a joke. Half the things you'll see is more for a joke. And half of it is just because someone made a rumour, people started spreading it, and then that happens. Think about it. This is the one thing that keeps going on my mind. If it was true, wouldn't we be hearing this on the news and in the paper a lot?
Well, the thing is, I don't really watch the news that often.
Nor do I.
If it was on the news, I probably wouldn't miss it.
But then you'd be hearing this more often from your family and stuff who do read the news and watch the news. Think about it. Like, I've asked a couple of people who are older than me and I know who watch the news, and they have not heard of it.
I had heard that there's a new spider in our country that's meant to be poisonous. Not poisonous, no, not poisonous. Sorry about that, people. It's called the fish-eating spider?
Fish-eating spider?
Flesh-eating spider.
The flesh-eating spider?
Flesh-eating spider.
That sounds more like a tick.
Oh no, I was told by someone else I know.
Who?
Apparently it's in my kitchen. It's a spider with a yellow symbol on it.
Yeah. Mind you...
It's in the corner of my kitchen.
Yeah, and you haven't tried to kill it yet?
No, I find it so fascinating, and it hasn't done nothing to hurt us.
Yet, until it eats your fish.
It's always been like above the microwave. It's kind of funny when
you should touch it.
Do our tea, because when the kettle goes, the smoke kind of like shakes his web a little bit. So he's never. I think he's starting to get used to it actually.
That's weird.
Before he started, he was trying to move away, but these days he just stays put.
I've got shivers now thinking about that.
Apparently, I think my brother-in-law Callum tried to get something from the microwave once, and I tried to bite him, I think.
Yeah, they do bite, and they leave a very, very painful bite, apparently.
The thing is, guys, it's a new kind of spider, and
I don't think it's really actually that new. I think it might just be because it had a little bit of paint on it.
We're trying to say this spider. So, are you trying to say now? Are you actually saying on air that spiders go to art galleries or something like that? And they actually do art?
Well, think about it. People paint pictures of spiders. Why would they do that when they're creepy? Who would want to basically keep a spider still and just basically make a painting of a spider? But think about it. We put paint on our faces, don't we, and our bodies and stuff like that at times, for like face masks, face paint, stuff like that. A spider could easily get paint on it. What if it walked underneath a table and a bit of paint fell on top of it? It would just be a drip.
Question is though, Now we all think, oh, they don't do this, but yeah, but could you imagine if spiders actually did have an underground art gallery somewhere?
No.
I mean, what kind of art would they have anyway? That's what I want to know.
Terrible. There's been a
Alex,
bunch of spiders.
I don't mean to take us off subject, but look at the ceiling.
We've got like a draft.
Have you noticed there's a gap?
There's like a draft up there. I thought you were filling that in.
Is that a gap or is that a cloud coming through our ceiling?
I can't tell. It looks like snow. Oh, it's a cloud.
Oh, okay, so we have clouds. Wait, does that mean if it rains, the rain will get in here?
Well, a cloud hasn't technically come in here yet, except for that one in the bit of the corner. Well, we'll know if we see one, won't we?
Boy, a rainy day on the news.
Yeah.
Well, it's not news, but the question is though, do you ever wonder what bugs do in their spare time?
Well, they eat. They haven't really got a brain to actually think of what to do.
But imagine if they could. What would they talk about?
Nothing. They'll just go cheap. They just go blah, 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 to each other. Anyway, but insects don't speak.
If only they could understand us. Then I could tell them to stay out of my room.
Yeah, I hate it when I have a spider in my room.
Oh, I don't like
creepy.
those annoying little bugs. Whenever I see one in my room, I just go squish it and check out the window.
Ew. That means you leave their like blood or whatever in your room. Ugh.
Oh no. Wood lice.
I like wood lice. They're cute.
No. Usually I don't care about them, but you see, that day I was a bit upset and annoyed and angry. So I took my frustration out on the wood lice.
Okay, that is just cruel. I would have just punched a pillow.
I think I had an argument with mum and dad or something, and when I went back to my room, I just saw the wood lice on the wall. I felt like I haven't got time for you. I just took him out to the bathroom and just checked out the window.
Okay.
I'm guessing he's dead.
Well, I think as with back to the original story, I think it basically shows that false widows are just a rumor and they don't really exist.
Well,
I haven't seen one. I don't know anyone who's actually been bitten by one or been hurt by one or whatever. Honestly, the only thing I've actually ever heard about it or seen about it is on Facebook. And we all know how Facebook is.
The problem is though, it's not really impossible for other bugs to somehow get to our country.
Well, I know, but they can't survive here because of how cold it is. It's not right for them. Think about it.
Some bugs.
Think about it.
But they never actually had a chance.
Yeah, but no, they haven't really been able to lay eggs either because this country won't let them. If you think about it. Well, no,
For example, I can't remember which country it was. I knew a country that had these ants that was it ants or was it bees? One of those things that was not meant to be there.
Sounds like a movie.
But it was transported in. It was smuggled in there, and somehow it became part of the country. I guess.
Which is the ecosystem.
They started. Yeah, the ecosystem.
There's another cloud on the roof.
Boy, these clouds.
Oh well.
But I can't remember if it was if it was some kind of bees or ants.
Both?
Maybe. All I know is some person smuggled them in for some reason, and just set them out into the wild.
Weird person.
Oh, it's snowing!
I think it's raining.
No, it's snowing.
I think behind us is snowing. Raining. Oh, it is snowing. Just looked like rain from my angle.
Well, that's an interesting thing.
Well, it's not long till like when it gets to the weather where it snows, is it?
I like my personal space. Ow.
Right then.
As you guys can see, we're both just thieves, but unfortunately the textures ain't working at this moment.
Yeah, I blame John.
Well, not textures, skins, I mean.
Yeah, I still blame John. Right then. John.
I blame the update.
Yeah, anyway. So John, you're going to ask me a question now?
Hmm. What should I ask you? Well,
Boo, boo,
mm,
boo.
what would you say? Okay, what would you say is your worst day in your life?
My worst day in my life. Oh goodness, now I have to think back to my childhood.
Your entire life. What would you say was your worst moment?
The 20 years I've been alive.
Like,
Huh.
have you ever like fell over when you was a kid, or have you ever
It's
like
not really a bad
got
thing
hit by a
falling
car?
over. It's not really bad. I guess the worst could be when I nearly broke my neck, because that was really painful.
When did
Wow.
that happen?
Okay, you want me to tell you the story? It was a
Yes,
long
yes,
time
yes.
ago on the world called Earth. I was out.
Well, we got.
Stop interrupting.
Sorry.
You want to hear it? Then shut up and listen. Okay. Are you sitting comfortably?
Well, wait, we don't have chairs.
I do.
We're both standing.
It only looks like I'm standing.
I hate my skin on this
Yes.
game.
Yes, I hate it too. Now, back to me. And me and my handsome face. Right. Let's have a think. Right, back to what I was saying. Basically, after I was in school, I was basically on my way home, and on our way to my house, or something like that, there was a bunch of, well, I couldn't even say a bunch of people. I guess, I don't know if I could really call them friends or not. I don't really know what to call them. Just passer-by that knew people I knew. Or I knew, I can't really remember myself who they even were now. Basically, as I was with, I think it was Anthony at the time. I think it was Anthony. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. Basically, um, we all started talking, and one of them grabbed me by the neck. It's not in a not in like a basically an aggressive way, but more in a fun playing. You know, when you tug people or your friends around, when you're like messing around. Like John really hates that stuff. He doesn't really like being grabbed by people who's just having a laugh. Anyway, basically,
I like my personal space. You see.
yeah. The problem is not everyone. People think you're uptight for doing that. Nah, kidding. I understand what you mean, but it's like, honestly, I don't really like being grabbed by people I don't know. If I get grabbed by someone I know and I know they're doing it as a joke, I'm fine. I guess I'm thinking about it, I probably didn't know them too well. I can't even remember. And what somehow, while they were doing that, I felt it's kind of like my neck had like this horrible click, and at that very moment, my neck just went up in a flame of pain in that once in like a all around my neck, well not all around, just on the back of my neck, and that was just terrible. Ow. And basically, as I got home, I basically had to sit up and I had to keep my neck straight. Luckily at the time I didn't have to worry too much because all I had to do, since I had a laptop at the time, all I had to do was keep it in front of me, and I was fine after that. And I don't really know what you could call it. Like, honestly, if it was that bad for 3 days, I probably would have had to go to the hospital and get it checked. It's like I could move my neck, so I could turn it around, but whenever I did, it was really painful. I don't know what happened. It was just terrible. It was like terrifying as well, because if I did break my neck, oh my god, mind you, I could get like paralyzed because of that. Thinking about it, oof, that would have been bad. All the stuff I've ever done in my life would have been for nothing. Becoming paralyzed. Wow. Don't cry. Oh, so I'm John. You're crying. Oh, give us a hug. Don't touch me.
Get off me! No, it's the way you did your head. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Did my head? Well, I know I have a square head at the moment, but still.
No, you looked at like yo. As you was talking, I'm sorry. I had an image in my head.
It's like a very sensitive subject. I nearly broke my neck, boy. Well, technically someone nearly broke my neck. Not I broke it, someone else nearly broke it.
But did that mean you agree that sometimes when friends mess about and like go like hug you and stuff like that and do physical contact things just for love.
You sound like one of these people who basically will never have
Sometimes-
sex. If you don't like physical contact, then seriously, how would you?
We're not. Don't worry, Clyde. We're not the people of a Big Bang Theory. We're not all of them actually. There's only one guy who doesn't like that stuff, but
Who?
Sheldon, I believe.
Okay. He doesn't like sex.
I think in that show, he's meant to be a genius,
Yeah.
but in a way, I think he has a bit of a disability. Like he kind of thinks like a kid. Like
John, we
likes,
should really not be discussing a movie or film.
Good point. Good point. If you want to see what I'm talking about,
Just watch
watch
it.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. Right. I think it's my turn to ask you a question now after I told my very painful story.
No, actually, wait a minute. What about me?
You really asked me something, and I just really said it.
Oh no, I'm trying to think of my
Well,
question because I'm.
Have you right
Well-
then? Why don't you make it simpler? What? Okay, fine. Yeah, go on then. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I don't think I ever had a worst day ever.
How would you know though? Because your worst day is just what's happened so far. Your worst day could come.
Oh, my worst day at my work at. Could I actually talk about that? Because the thing
No,
is,
I wouldn't advise it. You can right. Why don't you just make up a name for it? Why don't you call it?
My workplace. I
No,
call it my workplace.
Oh, that's a kind of lame name. You could have thought something better. You could have called it the pizza Marth.
But it was
The Pizza Mart. That's good. Does it really matter? It's better than basically calling it as you want it be as its real name is, and it's better than just basically having it as the workplace. It sounds so dull. It's like grey, like the wall behind us. We need some colour in this place.
I'll just call it the random shop.
The random. That's still a bad name.
Well, I'm sorry.
Wow, you take forever to hit me.
Ow. Anyway, at this place, I'll just call it the place. All right. I know it sounds boring, but I've got nothing better to say. Now, at the place I used to work at, as I go for a flashback.
Why a flashback?
Well, you see, I had to do these trolleys, you see, where I had to carry like lots and lots of drinks. One day, I put lots of them so tall because someone else did it. And it seemed so easy.
Hmm.
Why are you over there?
Because I can face you now. I'm watching I'm watching your flashback.
Oh, okay. But anyway, as I was saying, that day it was going so well. I got down to the floor. I was about to get to the chiller, which is a drinks area, and suddenly my trolley got caught on one of the shelves,
Shelves.
which made the entire tower of drinks on my trolley just tumble forward.
Bum 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 bum.
I went smash right on the floor. Luckily, no one got hurt. But the manager, I think, well, no, the assistant manager, and I don't know who the other one was.
Why do you call the other one? Why do you call one Bertha and why do you call the other one Steve?
Okay, Steve and Bertha. They saw it, which I felt like I wanted to just crawl under a rock and hide because they were like, that was the assistant manager and the other important person.
And the other important person.
So they could have fired. Well, actually, I was just there on experience. So I guess that's the only reason they kept me at that point.
Well, you did do it on
Obviously
accident
it's
as
an
well.
accident. Yeah, it was an accident. And they didn't say nothing, but I felt completely stupid. I immediately picked up all the drinks and tried to get the chiller back full and then get upstairs as soon as possible.
Oh wait, so you did this in the you did this in the shop part.
What?
What? Where did you do this? Did you do this before you going into the lift, or did you do it as you're in the store part?
In the store.
That's even worse. Wow, I see what you mean. How bad it was
It
then.
tumbled not far from the chiller. I was lucky that no one came past and got hit by it, because I would have been in big trouble.
I know. God, that is quite interesting. Yeah.
But then, to top it all off, guys, you think that's bad enough? After that, oh yeah, and also I actually did have help getting the stuff back to the chiller. Luckily, one of the guys actually did help me out.
Oh, that's nice.
And anyway, after I done the chiller and after all that humiliation, went upstairs. Then I went to the drinks room, and
No.
then suddenly, one of the other magic people got called upstairs. I thought it was somebody for something else, and apparently the
Okay.
yes yes the supervisor. Now I remember. Now yes, she apparently called him the other magic guy up because apparently I left the room in a mess.
Okay.
So in the end, I got told off for that just after I had this accident downstairs. So that was not my day. I
Huh.
understand that it was against health and safety that I left this that it wasn't in a mess, but I didn't even realize it was in a mess.
Hmm.
Plus, I was not the only person who went in there. There was two other people who was using that room too.
Fair
But
point.
also, what really got my nerves on that day, I got told off, but she could have told me herself.
Oh,
And told me
yeah.
calmly and explained it to me. But she decided to call the manager up first and then talk to me about it and have him do it for her.
Good.
And that was basically my worst day. After that day, to be honest, every single time I think about that day, I want to cringe
Cringe.
in a way. Well,
Yeah.
you know, thinking about when that thing fell over, I felt like I wanted to just freeze and just hide somewhere.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yep. Carry on then, John.
Oh boy, why can't I keep it down?
I hear footsteps.
Okay, I think back to normal now.
Boom, boom.
Where was we?
You talk about supervisors and things. Oh, and your cringe-worthy day.
Yes, and I just wanted to cringe. I mean, wouldn't you want the cringe that happened to you?
I suppose if you do something really embarrassing and then someone comes up and tells you off for something that anyone else could have done, honestly, it could have been that since the other people are up there, were they always up there though? It might have been that they wanted you to keep an eye on the whole thing, but then that's kind of impossible. Honestly, did you do anything to defend yourself?
Well, I said, I just, to be honest, I did not know what to say. I said, to be honest, because I was upset because what happened downstairs, I just didn't want to get the wrong side of anyone. I just was lost for words at that point because I was a bit annoyed about downstairs thing.
Okay.
In the end, I kind of tried to show them that I was upset and said that, fine, I understand, I'm an idiot. They didn't say nothing and they just walked away and left me to clean up the room.
I see.
To be honest, I did not know what to say. I just wanted to have a go at the supervisor because I felt like she could have handled it in a more civilized way and actually talked to me and told me I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because I was unaware.
Well, at least now we know it's a she.
At that point. Yeah.
That's
But actually anyone.
true. Okay, maybe now it's probably best to change the subject
Yeah.
because it's getting very emotional. Let's try to think of something happy then. Right. I don't really want to say the simple thing where what was your happiest day because that's just lazy. Right. Let's have a think then. What's been happening? Well, right. Let's talk about a bit more about a game then, or games, or we can even talk about anime if you want. Who knows? I'll give you three choices then, John,
What?
and then I'll ask you a question in that little subject. You have the choice of games, life, or anime. What do you prefer? Which one do you want?
Well, um, I suppose. Well, I suppose personal life. I'll go for personal life.
Okay, so personal life question. Okay. Now, would you rather it be about? Oh no, that's not a good idea. I just realised. My headphones aren't on properly. They're on the wrong way around. Ignore that. Alright, when it comes to personal, how are you, hang on. What is the thing that's annoying you the most right now in your life? Because everyone has something annoying going on in their life. Something they don't like, and yet they have to do it.
I suppose...
Is it wake up?
It could probably have something to do with this, maybe. But
This?
well...
Oh, you on about me?
YouTubing. No, the YouTubing.
It's stressful?
Well, it's stressful because my views haven't been going up too high, and I'm kind of feeling...
Okay, that's creepy. Thunder and lightning as soon as you say that.
That's right. When I'm angry, a storm approaches.
Don't touch me.
Ow! But yes, I guess it's quite stressful being a YouTuber because
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get money coming in. I want to make this dream come true, but it's a bit hard sometimes.
Well, it's going to be. You're only starting out, and so am I. I'm going to take it's going to take a long time to basically reach the point we want to reach.
Plus, I kind of worry that all my friends are not even being supportive on the subject, but anyway.
Oh, you're not about me.
No, I mean other people. But
You're not about me.
no, not you.
Angry
In
glare.
other words, my friends, I have a feeling don't really try to give my videos a chance and watch them. But
It might be
I
because
don't know.
of the specific video. Honestly, if you basically play a game that everyone else has already seen, like, I have to admit, if people have seen a Walking Dead, okay, I'm gonna honestly, if people have seen many people play that, then it's kind of like, honestly, a game like that, I feel like it's probably better just to play on yourself. When you watch someone else play it, hasn't got the same feeling. When it comes down to a horror game, you can watch people's reactions or hear people's reactions, or etc. When it comes down to Minecraft, you can see people's idea on building, and you can see what they're planning. When it comes down to something like story-driven, it's not so much. When it comes down to a strategy game, people want to see people make a strategy.
But again, now you're trying to sound like that you know what everyone else thinks, but
All right.
it's like I guess me and Alex have both our opinions on this. You see, it's like
It's a cloud coming through the roof.
I understand what you mean about people seeing the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
But for example, I didn't come across Walking Dead by myself. I came across it watching someone else, and I actually didn't mind them watching someone else doing it.
I know,
found
because
quite
it was
interesting,
new.
Actually. Yes, that's me, which means...
The problem is, it's
that-
not
that
new
means
anymore.
that means if I think it, that means at least some people out there might think the same way. Not saying lots of them, but I'm sure 2 or 3 people at the most could probably think the same way I do, maybe.
Maybe. I suppose that makes sense, but like, the game's been out for an extremely long time right now. And it's kind of like, honestly, it'd be quite surprising if people didn't know about it. It's like there's plenty of games that many people will probably know about now. I'd be even surprised. Like, I know little kids might not know about it, so they might watch in the future. That is one thing you should be look forward to. Is that eventually kids might find you, which is bad because you've been swearing. Well, we've both been swearing technically. That's one problem.
It's like what I'm trying to say about the Walking Dead thing as well, though. Even though I've just finished it now,
Yeah.
a few days or so after I finished it, I started watching other people do it. I've watched. Can I say YouTube channels on this? Or?
I don't know. I wouldn't say, just in case. Just say you've been watching some
People
random
I've watched
channels.
Anyway, I've watched them play the game that I played after I completed it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what they did in there, their choices. I guess it's interesting for people to watch other people do it because they want to see the outcome.
But it's kind of like,
for example, Alex, if you played it, I'd want to know what choices you made. Like, would you have saved someone? Would you have said this? Would you have been mean or nice?
I suppose, but then there's not as many questions as you want, and honestly, most of the time in the game, the outcome's always the same. There's just a difference. They just have a little bit of different tone to you. You have to admit, like, that's the only one thing I find annoying about Walking Dead. No matter what you choose, you'll always end up at the same destination. You want to save this person, then that person dies. You want to save this person, then they die later on. It's like there's no point. It feels like there's no point saving them because, like, they just die.
Yeah, you never know. Because I have not played the entire thing yet. I've only played the first season. My next game I'm playing of Walking Dead wise is, I think, is it 200 days or 400 days?
100 days or something like that. I can't remember. I haven't played it in a while. I finished it already, so yeah.
I'm planning on getting that soon, so I can continue this and then go on to the second season afterwards.
Yep.
Well, I hear there's a second season, and I kind of want to see what happens in it.
Yep. Okay then, everybody. That is the end of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed. I have been Delpha, and this has been my friend...
Star Wars. Well, which one should I actually say? My YouTube name or my
I'd say your YouTube name. Hurry, because we haven't got much time left.
Okay then, and Star Pod.
Okay, thank you everybody for watching. See you guys next time.